The Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish text, has intrigued scholars, theologians, and curious minds for centuries. Its exclusion from the canonical Bible raises questions about the nature of religious texts, the criteria for inclusion, and the historical context of early Christianity and Judaism. To understand why the Book of Enoch was left out of the Bible, we must delve into its origins, content, and the historical circumstances surrounding its acceptance or rejection. The Book of Enoch, also known as Warn Enoch, is attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. It is a collection of apocalyptic writings that offer a vivid portrayal of heaven, angels, and the final judgment. Composed in the 3rd century BCE and consisting of several distinct sections, the book presents a unique blend of mythology, prophecy, and moral instruction. The most famous section, the Book of Watchers, describes the fall of the Watchers, angels who descended to earth and took human wives, leading to the birth of the Nephilim, a race of giants. This narrative has captured the imagination of many, particularly due to its elaborate descriptions of heavenly realms and the cosmic battle between good and evil. Despite its rich content and theological implications, the Book of Enoch was not included in the Hebrew Bible, nor was it accepted into the Christian canon. Several factors contribute to this exclusion. First, the process of canonization itself was complex and often contentious. In the early centuries of the Common Era, various Jewish and Christian communities were defining their beliefs in what constituted sacred scripture. Different groups had differing criteria for what should be included in the canon, often based on theological, historical, and political considerations. One significant reason for the Book of Enoch's exclusion relates to its association with sects that were deemed heretical by mainstream Judaism and later Christianity. The text was particularly popular among the Essenes, a Jewish sect known for their ascetic lifestyle and apocalyptic beliefs. The Essenes' emphasis on the coming of a messianic age and their interpretation of the law diverged from the mainstream Jewish thought of the time. As a result, the Book of Enoch, closely tied to Essene theology, may have been viewed with suspicion by other Jewish groups, leading to its omission from the Hebrew Bible. Additionally, the Book of Enoch presents a cosmology and theology that differs from the views held by later Jewish and Christian leaders. Its vivid portrayals of angels, the nature of sin, and the final judgment may have been seen as too radical or incompatible with emerging Orthodox beliefs. For instance, the concept of the Watchers and their transgressions introduces a narrative of divine punishment that might have been considered too extreme for inclusion in the canon, which sought to present a more unified and cohesive theological framework. As Christianity emerged and began to establish its own canon, the Book of Enoch continued to face challenges. Early church fathers, such as Tertullian and Origen, acknowledged the text and even referenced it in their writings. However, as the church sought to define orthodoxy and combat heretical teachings, the Book of Enoch fell out of favor. Its apocalyptic themes and connections to fringe movements made it a target for exclusion. The growing emphasis on the New Testament and the teachings of Jesus shifted the focus away from texts that did not align with the emerging Christian doctrine. Another factor contributing to the Book of Enoch's exclusion is the issue of textual integrity and authenticity. Over the centuries, the text existed in various forms and languages, with parts of it being lost or altered. The Ethiopic version, which is the most complete, was preserved by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, while other fragments were discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls. The fragmented nature of the text, combined with its uncertain origins, may have raised doubts about its legitimacy as a sacred scripture. Furthermore, the historical context of the canonization process cannot be overlooked. The formation of the biblical canon was not a singular event, but rather a gradual evolution influenced by political, social, and theological factors. The early church faced significant external pressures, including persecution and the need for a cohesive identity among diverse groups of believers. As a result, the canon was shaped by the desire to create a unified doctrine that could withstand challenges from both within and outside the faith. In the centuries that followed, the Book of Enoch became increasingly obscure in the Western world. While it remained influential in certain Christian traditions, particularly in Ethiopia, it was largely forgotten in the broader Christian context. The Protestant Reformation and subsequent theological debates further solidified the boundaries of the biblical canon, leaving the Book of Enoch on the periphery of Christian thought. Today, the Book of Enoch is experiencing a resurgence of interest. Scholars and enthusiasts alike are revisiting this ancient text, exploring its themes and implications for understanding early Judaism and Christianity. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls has shed light on its significance within the Second Temple period, revealing how it was part of a vibrant and diverse landscape of religious thought. In conclusion, the exclusion of the Book of Enoch from the Bible is a multifaceted issue rooted in historical, theological, and socio-political factors. Its association with heretical sects, its divergence from emerging Orthodox beliefs, and the complexities of the canonization process all played a role in its omission. While the Book of Enoch may not be part of the biblical canon, its continued exploration offers valuable insights into the beliefs and struggles of ancient communities, reminding us of the rich tapestry of religious thought that has shaped human history. The ongoing interest in this enigmatic text speaks to our enduring quest for understanding the divine and the mysteries of existence. The rejection of the Book of Enoch from the Jewish canon. The Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish text attributed to the biblical figure Enoch, was not included in the Jewish canon, which later influenced its exclusion from most Christian Bibles. Several factors contributed to this rejection, including its non-canonical status in Jewish tradition, theological contradictions, and historical considerations. 1. The canonization of the Hebrew Bible. The Hebrew Bible, known as the Tanakh, was gradually canonized over centuries. The process of canonization was influenced by Jewish religious leaders, historical events, and theological consistency. By the time of the Council of Jamnia, 90 CE, Jewish scholars had established a more defined set of sacred texts focusing on three main sections: Torah, law, the first 5 books, Genesis to Deuteronomy; Nevi'im, prophets, books such as Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Kings; Ketuvim, writings, including Psalms, Proverbs, and Daniel. The Book of Enoch was never considered part of this collection, likely due to its apocalyptic nature and uncertain origins. 2. Lack of rabbinic endorsement. Rabbinic Judaism, which emerged after the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE, played a crucial role in defining Jewish scripture. Prominent rabbis, such as those recorded in the Mishnah and Talmud, did not cite or endorse the Book of Enoch as an authoritative text. Instead, they focused on texts that aligned with traditional Jewish theology. Additionally, Enochic literature contains mystical and esoteric elements, such as detailed descriptions of fallen angels and the Watchers, a group of angels who descended to earth and fathered the Nephilim. These ideas were inconsistent with mainstream Jewish teachings, which emphasize monotheism and divine sovereignty. 3. Association with sex love. Like the Essenes, the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in Qumran revealed that the Essenes, a Jewish sect active around the 2nd century BCE, highly valued the Book of Enoch. The scrolls contained multiple copies of Enochic texts, suggesting that the Essenes regarded them as sacred. However, the Essenes were a minority sect, and their theological views differed from mainstream Judaism. The Pharisees, who later shaped Rabbinic Judaism, did not adopt Enoch's writings, further marginalizing the book. 4. Theological inconsistencies with Jewish doctrine. The Book of Enoch presents theological ideas that conflict with mainstream Jewish beliefs. Angelology and demonology. The book details the fall of angels and their punishment, an idea that is less developed in Jewish theology. Messianic and eschatological themes. It introduces a figure resembling a messianic son of man, which does not fully align with Jewish messianic expectations. Afterlife concepts. Enoch describes a detailed heaven and hell, while traditional Jewish teachings about the afterlife were less defined. Due to these contradictions, Jewish authorities likely viewed the text as heretical or non-authoritative. Influence of Hellenistic culture. The Book of Enoch was written during the Hellenistic period, 4th to 1st century BCE, when Greek influence was strong in Jewish culture. Many traditional Jewish leaders resisted Greek philosophical and religious ideas, which were seen as foreign. Some scholars believe that the Book of Enoch reflects Hellenistic influences, further contributing to its rejection from the Jewish canon. The Book of Enoch was ultimately rejected from the Jewish canon due to its apocalyptic nature, lack of rabbinic support, association with fringe sects, theological inconsistencies, and possible Hellenistic influences. While it remained influential in some early Christian communities, it never gained canonical status in Judaism, shaping its exclusion from later biblical traditions.